We knew that. Streaming page. Hallelujah. And there we are. Share to a friend. Um, okay, Stuart, it's live on your page. And Joel, are we not friends on Facebook?
Um, I have no friends on Facebook. I do not
You're
have a
not on Facebook. Okay,
presence.
so streaming it to your page is a moot point. Um,
Yes. My Facebook page has a little note on it that says, if you're actually a friend of mine, you know how to find me.
oh, okay.
And
All
that's it.
right, so I'm about to start the recording now.
Okay.
And whoops, that is not what I clicked. Start the recording. Yes, it is. Welcome to Any Sunday Songwriters. For those of oh, there is an echo. I'm sorry about that. You'll have to hear me twice.
Jan, tell me if the echo disappears. Did it disappear now?
Yes, yes, it did.
Okay.
Good. Okay. So it is so named because it used to be, and actually still is now that the pandemic is so called over, a bricks and mortar show on the second Sunday of each month. But when the pandemic started, I put it online and it took me about 30 seconds to figure out it could now be any Sunday I chose. So it's pretty much every other Sunday now. And it's called Any Sunday Songwriters. My guests today are to my right is Joel Tepp. I have to turn backwards to do this. Joel is an amazing musician and a singer-songwriter from somewhere on the West Coast. And I know that because I met him at Far West, which is Folk Alliance Region West, and covers California, Washington, Oregon, and a couple other places. And to my right below me, in my view, is Stuart Marcus, who is currently driving in New York somewhere. And he should be home any minute, but he's going to favor us with something special when it's his turn. But in the meantime, Joel, would you like to kick us off?
I will kick it off. I'll finish off your comments. Far West actually includes Idaho, Montana, Nevada, uh, Alaska, and the farthest west of all. Would you care to guess?
Oh, Hawaii.
You got it. So
Yay.
this song is actually has its birthplace at Far West. The first, I went to the Folk Alliance in Austin in 2006. I was traveling and backing up Danny O'Keefe and got introduced to Folk Alliance that way. And then some of the people from the West Coast said, oh, you have to come to Far West. That's for all of us on the West Coast. And you'll see all your old friends, because I live in Seattle, but all my music was done in LA before I raised kids as a single dad. So I went to Far West and I met someone. I didn't meet her there, but she went as well. Someone named Caroline Aiken, and went off on a tour with her. And there was a lot of sparks and magic there. And before she picked me up at the airport for the tour, she asked just what we were going to be doing. And I said, we're going to stick to strictly business because we don't want to go out there and play Fleetwood Mac in front of the people. So this is whatever we're feeling, let's express it in the music, and wrote this song for her. We've tangled with so many in our midst and in our past, who cling with jaded innocence, lie to make love last, tearing through the brambles, tearing others' hearts, not knowing where the damage stops, where the healing starts. With promises of heaven, they strike a devil's deal, while we make love in wood and steel. They dance around the moonlight, dance around the truth, seeking empty answers in their isolation booths. Touching without reaching, they breach each other's dams, and the curses flow like rapids, sweeping bare a troubled land. With a thrashing and a grinding, they turn the devil's wheel, while we make love in wood and steel. The sweetest song I've ever sung is you. The hardest thing I've ever done is you. There's no winning, no losing, no trial and no appeal. The muse provides the melodies to whisper how we feel, holding out an open hand that holds an open heart, strumming on the lifelines that will set our fate apart. When all is freely given, then all is for the good, as we make love in steel and wood. Wood and steel, tell me how you feel. Steel and wood feels so good.
Wow.
You.
Yeah, that was excellent. So, Stuart,
Yes.
tell us a little about yourself and treat us to a song.
Okay. Well, I'm a singer-songwriter. Been living on Long Island for over 30 years now. I grew up outside of Rochester, and I'm leader of a folk harmony trio called Gathering Time. And I'm also a singer of sea shanties. With a mutual friend named Bob Stein. We call ourselves the Royal Yard, and I'm known for singing well. I've always had a fascination with pirates and things like that. And I'm going to do one that I wrote about a little over 2 years ago. And it bears a little bit of action, without understanding its context. Well, let's say it's got me. The tall ships, wooden ships, were among the first equal opportunity employer. One of the industries, they're, wasn't high-minded. They were just always in dire need of crew. So they didn't discriminate. They hired from all over. So they all worked together. How much they socialized together could vary from crew to crew. There were language barriers, certainly, and issues of just cultural familiarity. So this is a story of someone who kind of has his eyes open, shall we say, by an incident that could have happened many times over back in the days. There are a couple of words like blackjack and checkerboard crew, which were not disrespectful at the time, and I hope nobody will say now. By the way, if anybody can't tell, I'm driving, as Jan said. So there might be a little bit of audio feedback or audio issues, but I'm like 2 minutes from home now. So after this one, I'll be okay. All right. So this is called When Black Hands Saved Me from the Blue. 'Twas a dark and a stormy curse of a day in November of late '62, when my soul was awoke in a terrible way, when black hands saved me from the blue, brave boys, when black hands saved me from the blue. My shipmates had come from a bevy of lands, as they called us a checkerboard crew, and half of their words I could scarce understand. When black hands saved me from the blue, brave boys, when black hands saved me from the blue. Now the blackjacks had tended to keep to themselves, as most of us tended to do. The Irish and English and Yankees as well. When black hands saved me from the blue, brave boys, when black hands saved me from the blue. But little it mattered when hauling a line, a halyard, a brace, or a clew, and mattered it less when aloft we did climb, when black hands saved me from the blue, brave boys, when black hands saved me from the blue. 'Twas on the main royal my hand lost its grip, in a moment I ever shall rue. From the wobbling foot rope I started to slip, when black hands saved me from the blue, brave boys, when black hands saved me from the blue. 'Tis many a sailor's end he has found, and many good men overthrew. At 30 degrees, first you freeze, then you drown. When black hands saved me from the blue, brave boys, when black hands saved me from the blue. But then a great strong hand gripped my arm up tight, with a strength such that I never knew. I looked up and saw a face dark as the night, when black hands saved me from the blue, brave boys, when black hands saved me from the blue. I think I shall mess with the blackjacks today. It seems like the least I could do. When facing one's end, shallow things melt away. When black hands saved me from the blue, brave boys, when black hands saved me from the blue.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
And I take it you're home.
I am. You heard it get a lot quieter all of a sudden?
Well, I saw you take off your seatbelt.
Oh, yes.
And there wasn't a single highway I remember in New York where that was a good idea.
Very true. Yep, perfect timing. Just got into my driveway.
Okay, so I'm going to do a song that I actually wrote in LA, but today is a perfect illustration. One of the things that drives me crazy about living in Texas is our sky is completely covered with clouds right now, and yet it is hot outside. It used to make me so angry. It's like where I grew up, if the sky was gray and cloudy, it meant it was also cool. That's not true here. So this song, I was living in LA. I'd already figured out it was not where I belonged. And so this was written one evening by way of being a pep talk, which I needed a lot of. So when those gray skies seem to be falling in, when the hard times just get hard the good times grow thin. Don't let that old rocky road rock you off of your feet. One day you'll be dancing down easy street. You gotta hold on, 'cause one day you'll have it all. If you hold on, one day you'll be dancing down easy street. Well, too many times your tears rolled by. You've been down too many roads paved with too many lies and promises dripping gold, honey sweet. One day you'd be dancing down easy street. You gotta hold on, 'cause one day you'll have it all. If you hold on, one day you'll be dancing down easy street. Somewhere there's rainbows shining in the sky, and dollar bills, they float on down before your eyes, and the last piece of your puzzle will make your life complete. One day you'll be dancing down easy street. So you gotta hold on, 'cause one day you'll have it all. If you hold on, one day you'll be dancing down easy street. One day you'll be dancing down easy street.
Oh,
Thank you.
can you hear me? Did you hear that?
A little bit, yes.
Okay, good, 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 good. That was lovely.
Thank you.
I don't have the words to it with me. It's upstairs somewhere, but I wrote a song called Primo Land that is sort of like Easy Street. It it uh, it it was written in the very late 60s or early 70s. It really started off as an ode to a bag of really good weed that that
Yeah.
I bought from somebody I didn't know, and then we started talking about at that point there were no pot shops, there were no 47 degrees of names for everything.
hmm
Uh, there was just Primo and then all the other stuff. So we talked about what a world was where everything, no matter what it was Primo, and that Easy Street reminded me of that.
Oh, thank you. I'll take that.
With no enhancement in the listening process, it just came out loud and clear on its own.
Good. That's the best ones. So we're going to just keep going round and round like this until our time is up, which sends
Okay,
us back to you, Joel.
so let's see. That was That was a waltz. So I was gonna do a waltz, but let's change this around. I'll get back to this. And so Jan mentioned I play music with a lot of people. I spent 50 years backing up people in the studio and on the road. And it's through coming to Folk Alliance where I really just started taking songs I'd written over the years and actually going and playing them on my own. I've probably made 200 or 300 records with various people, and I've never made a record of my own. So here is a chance to share a little bit of some of the instruments I play for other people. And I'll start it off with the lyrics. It's a Sonny Boy Williamson song that I love a lot. The second Sonny Boy, Rice Miller. And so this one, hopefully he's still out there. My grandson Julius may be listening, and this is a harmonica song for him because we are revisiting harmonica together. And instead of teaching him from music theory point of view or anything, we are learning harmonica through the process of playing whistle sounds for his Brio train. So Julius, if you're out there, this is for you. Baby, baby, I'm gonna bring it on home to you. Got my ticket, bought my load. Conductor holler, all aboard. Bought my seat, rail right back. Watch this train roll down the track. Baby, I said, baby, I'm gonna bring it on home to you. And then I wrote some other verses of this for Far West to sing along with all the people who avoided the airplanes and took a train to the conference down in Los Angeles in 2018. No long lines, no jet planes. No bent legs and no back pains. Got my guitar by my side. Sing and play the whole damn ride. Steel rail lines. Steel rail lines. I'm gonna bring it on home to you.
I absolutely adore trains. So that was really nice.
So does Julius.
Very cool. Is it my turn now?
Yes.
Okay. As you can see, I'm home. And I have a guitar in hand. Can you hear me okay? Let me just check it. It gave me a little bit of trouble, and I had to go in from browser rather than through the software. So I'm trying to find out how to make sure I've got the original sound enabled. And it doesn't seem to be in the audio menu. Why do they have to hide things?
Are you on a computer or on an iPad?
I'm on a computer.
It should be under audio settings. The third bold thing down. There's speaker and then microphone and then I forgot what it's called. Audio profile.
Well, I'm doing it from my browser because it told me I had to update it for it to work on the Zoom software, and then it told me that it couldn't update my software.
Huh.
So it's not under general settings, and it's not under audio settings.
What do you see under audio settings?
Test speaker and microphone. I have the option to test mic and select internal microphone or.
And there's no audio profile underneath that?
No.
Wow. Well.
That's really weird. And it's not under the controls that are next to the microphone either.
Do you want to go back in the car?
I could go back on the phone.
It's sounding great.
Yeah, it's sounding fine so far, but
it sounds good. Let's see how the guitar sounds.
It's cutting out.
Yeah, that's where. What are you using the computer's mic?
Yeah, and when I have it set for original sound, it sounds fine.
Yeah.
There's no control for. Can't see how to do that. Hold on.
I don't know what to do if it's not there.
Yeah, it says I'm like kind of mousing around here to see what to do. Audio options. No.
Do you want to go out and come in again?
No, I'm sure it has to do with whether it's original sound or not. And there just doesn't seem to be a control for that. Well, I don't want to hold up the show, so I can either do another acapella one, or I could play it and deal with it. Do another acapella? Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, I'll stick with the nautical motif here.
And this is one I wrote actually after sailing on a tall ship called the HMS Rose, which is a replica of a British warship from the 1750s. And it's a replica, and it's now a sailing school vessel. So let's see. We signed aboard the hell ship Rose to sail the raging sea. We signed our way, our hard and pay to live in slavery, to climb the mast, to ride the waves and breathe the salty air. We got no sleep, our bodies ache, but still we didn't care. So brush your teeth and brine, me boys, brush your teeth and brine. And if you think your eyes are bloodshot, take a look at mine. And just make sure you ask me before casting off that line. So brush your teeth and brine, me boys, brush your teeth and brine. Our water started getting low, just 4 days underway. It seemed that some landlubbers had to shower every day. When asked to stop, they gave to us a shocked, astonished stare. I'd rather die of thirst than miss a day to wash my hair. So brush your teeth and brine, me boys, brush your teeth and brine. And if you think your hair is greasy, take a look at mine. And just make sure you ask me before casting off that line. So brush your teeth and brine, me boys, brush your teeth and brine. They lined the great Cape Cod Canal to greet us from the sea. And in response, we fired our guns and shelled them mercilessly. But every time we opened up, they cheered us from the shore. If we'd used our grape and chain shot, they'd have only loved us more. So brush your teeth and brine, me boys, brush your teeth and brine. And if you think your pits are smelling, take a whiff of mine. And just make sure you ask me before casting off that line. So brush your teeth and brine, me boys, brush your teeth and brine. From Bridgeport back to Newport and from sea to shining sea, we'll sail the globe, reminding folks how sailing used to be. And if we ever tire of all the hard work and abuse, just think how boring it would be to take a pleasure cruise. So brush your teeth and brine, me boys, brush your teeth and brine. And if you think your rack is lonely, take a look at mine. And just make sure you ask me before casting off that line. So brush your teeth and brine, me boys, brush your teeth and brine. Oh, brush your teeth and brine, me boys, brush your teeth and brine. And if you think your hair is greasy, grab a lock of mine. And just make sure you ask me before casting off that line. So brush your teeth and brine, me boys, brush your teeth and brine. Thank you. You know what? I'm going to try to leave the meeting and come back in again using maybe it's a factor of the Zoom software. So I'll try that meanwhile.
Okay.
It's Dan's turn.
Okay, that was wonderful, by the way.
Thank you.
The very thing I've wondered about.
Yeah, which is what?
How did people brush their teeth on those long voyages?
They didn't. The toothbrush wasn't invented yet. They would sometimes use a special stick that would kind of shred and kind of clean their teeth off. But for the most part, people were losing their teeth in their 20s and 30s.
Well, Joel, do you have any toothbrushing songs? I'm going to do one that I wrote for, well, it's got a story. And here's the story. I drove to a place called Coffeyville in March, at the beginning of March. And the deal with Coffeyville is you play at the community college and you spend all day doing assemblies at the local high school, and the rest of the time is filled up with playing at retirement communities, of which Coffeyville seems to have an endless supply. Coffeyville is in Kansas, by the way, so there's not much else going on. You have a captive audience only because there's no place else to go. And on the way there, it was the day after the Coventry School in Nashville. And I remarked on Facebook that night, because all the flags were at half staff, and I said they might as well just leave them there until they do something real about the problem. Well, I have a friend in Michigan, Jen Cass, who is also a fine songwriter. I've long had admiration and respect for her. And she sent me the lyrics to a song about 2 weeks ago, and I fell in love immediately. And I said, congratulations. And she said, well, it was your idea, and reminded me of what I'd said. And I said, well, do you have a melody for this yet? because if not, I'd like to take a shot at it and see what you think, and then it'll be a real collaboration. And she said yes, and this was the result, and I'm pleased to report that she likes it, so I'm going to play it for you. The flags above my country are at half-staff once again, and we're burying our children and their teachers and their friends. Hey, law enforcement got him, and he only murdered 10. But the flags above my country are at half-staff once again. The flags above my country are at half-staff every day. And the folks who hold the power seem to have nothing to say. They just send their thoughts and prayers up to protect the NRA. So the flags above my country are at half-staff every day. You can leave the flags at half-staff. It'll save us all some time. We can skip right to the part where we say this is God's design. As we scroll the names and faces that were cut down in their prime. The flags above my country should be upside down today, 'cause the risk to life and property we cannot pray away, and no good guy with a gun can stop a nation led astray. The flags above my country should be upside down today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, there's so many good lines in there. I mean,
She's-
so many apt lines. They're not good lines. You asked if I had a toothbrush song, and it turned out you had a song with a lot of bite.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm first of all, I'm ecstatic that I finally got a chance to write with Jan.
Yeah. I'd also like to share that it's really a treat to be listening to a songwriter who uses piano and can play piano.
All those lessons didn't go for nothing.
And your posture is great.
Oh, so Stuart, that didn't work? Well, Joel,
I'm gonna sign in from my my phone again.
okay.
That one I can set it for virtual audio, for original sound rather.
Oh, there you are twice.
Okay.
Well, we've got a bunch of people to say hello to on Facebook. Oh, Jen. Jen was here. Hi, Jen. That's great. Okay. So hello to Jen Cass. Hello to Sybil Bennett, Myra Bennett. Rick Herndon was here a minute ago, but Facebook does this funny thing on live broadcasts where you don't get to see everybody's comments. You just get to see the few that are current. Yeah. So, and he says we had Stereo Stuart for a while. Joel, you want to pick up where I left off?
That's a tough one to follow, but here, let's give it a go. Let's see. I think I'll sit down for this. And so this song here is here. I'll let Stuart. I'm seeing mostly Stuart at this point. Let's see, speaker. Well, I don't have to see me. I have to face myself in the mirror later. I don't need to see me now. How is the balance? We still got.
Yes.
Great.
And Carolyn Aiken says hi too.
Oh, Carolyn is out there?
Yes, not under her name, but that she just informed me that that's who that is. So, welcome.
Wow, what a treat. Oh, have she played your show? I can't hear you.
What I said was no, but she'd be welcome to if she's interested. That would be wonderful.
There isn't a word past awesome that you can use, but if there was, maybe it's just Aiken. So I love story songs. And when the pandemic first hit, I didn't want to watch the news. I didn't want to watch much of anything. And if you can quickly tell which old Westerns are going to be real horrible in relation to Native Americans and just shut them down. But a lot of the other old Westerns, especially the TV Westerns from the 50s, are fascinating to watch. Most of the actors there, you'll see people really young in their career. And you'll look and you'll go, oh my God, that's Jack Nicholson. And then you realize that about a quarter of the actors all ended up on Star Trek. And then you notice that Gene Roddenberry was the writer. And what made Star Trek work was they just took a Western and changed the costumes, and then everything else was the same. And in most of his spots in Westerns, Leonard Nimoy played Native American chiefs with mysterious sayings that they would mumble and everybody would find very spiritual. So it was basically the same gig going on and on. But this song is hopefully like next week episode from whatever show it is, encapsulated into a song. Knee-topper boots of Spanish-like leather, cut from a deer that my daddy brought down. Rifle stock gleaming in ivory and silver, sun on my back as I ride into town. Winters for waiting and work by the fireside, springs for courting to those who know how. 20 long winters have seasoned me slowly, sparks to the tinder, it won't be long now. And I dream of Angeline. blink of an eye and the smell of old flowers. Mama was thinner and plainer by far. She knows a man who's a fool of a gambler, and I know it's real by the heat in my heart. All of my dreams come apart at the table. I drew the hearts, all the future turned black. All I've got left is my watch and $1. I hope she'll have me before I turn back. In the cool of the night, I can feel my young blood burning. In the beat of a heart, I can see my whole life turning. And I dream Angeline. Toes are half frozen in damp April weather, cut by the rocks, oh, I'm feeling low down. While I was with her, they rifled my pockets, moon in my eyes as I walk home from town. As I dream Angeline, I still dream of Angeline.
Lovely.
I realized something while I was singing it. You look like Miss Kitty. Got the red hair.
Okay.
Got the control over the business. Got the honky tonk piano in the background.
Well, you can just call me that from now on. I like it. So, Stuart,
I think
everything all better?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Does the guitar sound okay?
You're totally a little quiet.
Totally a little quiet. I don't know if there's a way to adjust the audio input other than
Maybe get closer to it.
yeah. Except then you won't be able to see the whole guitar. But how's this? A little better?
Yeah, this is nice. Yeah.
It cuts off the top of my head, but worse things have happened to me. Yep, it's going to sound okay. I'm very happy to know that Caroline Aiken is tuned in. I've known Caroline since I opened for her in 1997. Well, hi. This is a song, Joel's song about the beginning of a relationship reminded me perhaps I should do this one. And this is one that I wrote when I realized I was falling in love with someone. I was having this realization while I was watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy on cable TV. So this is how it came out. It's called The Highest Walls Guard the Greatest Treasure. Behind the castle walls of brick and stone, a treasure lies known but to you alone. Past a creaky stair and a wooden door, a velvet chair and a flagstone floor, a dragon's lair and an iron hinges groan. Thus I press on, inch by measure, for the highest walls guard the greatest treasure. step I hear the cautious word. Only a fool pursues the singing sword. It's guarded by the darkest night, who's slain her foe in every fight. You find the light is all you're heading toward. But the greatest of risks bring the greatest pleasure, for the highest walls guard the greatest treasure. Battlements are set on high, the parapets braid the sky. A portcullis and a bluff that overlooks the sea defend a heart that won't be taken easily. No, I've learned and often heard it said, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. And though it's true that gold and jewels are coveted by thieves and fools, my aim is to a higher purpose led. And thus I press on, inch by measure, for the highest walls guard the greatest treasure. The highest walls guard the greatest treasure. The highest walls guard the greatest treasure. The highest walls guard the greatest treasure.
Wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, before I go ahead and do my next song, I'd like to ask this burning question, because it is now time. You just got sideways, Stuart. There you go. So I'll start with Joel. Joel, where are you going to be playing next, and where can people find you online?
The difficult question for me. In 2 weeks, I'll be accompanying Dan Navarro when he comes through the Northwest, and that's always a really fun one. He gives you a lot of room to run and a lot of good material to run on, and I really love playing with him. It's at a house concert at Bill Lippy's place, and I'm pretty sure it's sold out at this point, but somebody could pester Bill and try. And to find me online, you have to look in the liner notes. I mean, you can go any place. I'm the only Joel Tepp in the world that I know of. So whatever tracks and whatever crimes you find traces of, they're all me. And I don't really. You can write me if you liked something, or if you read whatever's written online, and people can write me at joeltepp@earthlink.net, and I can maybe guide you to things where the liner notes don't, they're on the album, but the album isn't what's pictured on YouTube, and there's a lot of work out there. That's what I do. I play on other people's stuff. Oh, and should you go to the original Anaheim Disneyland, that's me playing on the teacup ride, along with the rest of whoever was doing that session. Then they're still using it. May I tell a brief story?
Sure.
So I got a call. I played in the studios in LA from the time I got out of high school. So the early years of the Wrecking Crew and stuff. I went to it's a public school, but it's a music school, not from the school, but from who happens to live in the neighborhood, and that's Fairfax High. So that's Herb Alpert and Phil Spector and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and the list just goes on for a mile. And
Marvelous.
when I was there, that's 50 years ago, Phil Spector used to come around and prospect the annual musical looking for female talent. And so those of us that could pick instruments, that was your way into learning how to work in the studio and getting a union job and all that. And they wanted a jug. So I showed up at a Disney session, and the deal was they were getting the ride together for the teacup ride, the music. And the session, the actual Alice in Wonderland, was maybe early 1940, and the record books were really poor. So it was like Lou from the parking lot played the triangle and stuff like that. Well, union rules and royalties say it's a reuse, so you have to give credit to that person. And they calculated it would cost more to hire private detectives and trace down these people than it would to just record it all over again and put it along with the teacup ride. So I think he's caught up with me, but maybe not. But I would say if you count the teacup ride as one of my pieces of work, more young kids have lost their stomach to my music than Ozzy Osbourne.
What a record to hold. Yeah, I'm very familiar with that park. That's where we used to go all the time, and I know exactly what that teacup ride sounds like. So congratulations, you are immortalized. At least as long as I last. And Stuart, how about you? Where are you going to be next, and where can people find you online?
So I'm just like investigating how to adjust the audio inputs here on a phone. Next concert I've got coming up, I'm doing a couple solo shows in Rockville Central, Long Island, at a place called the Tap Room, which is mostly covers. That's Thursday and Friday. Next Friday, Gathering Time, my band is playing along with Mara Levine for the Princeton Folk Music Society in Princeton,
Nice.
New Jersey. That's Friday the 19th. And we back Mara up for a set, and then we do a set entirely of our own. And then that Sunday, May 21st, we are playing a newly reconstituted series called The Good Coffee House. It used to take place in Brooklyn in Park Slope, but the guy who runs it, named Frank McCaldy, moved to Staten Island a couple of years ago, and he's restarted the series now at a place called the Little Victory Theater, which is on Victory Boulevard in Staten Island. It's like an old vaudeville theater, seats maybe 150 tops. Probably even not that big, but apparently that looks like that, kind of like the classic vaudeville theater. So that's next Sunday, a little closer to New York on Staten Island at 4 p.m. So that's
How
what
lovely.
But,
And where are you online?
you can find me at stumarcusmusic.com. That's Stu with a U, Marcus with a K. It's very fussy. I'm not so fussy. The instrument is. And look for Gathering Time at gathering-time.com.
Great. Okay. The next time I'll be in evidence is also going to be online at this same stand, Any Sunday Songwriters. I'll be accompanied by Tracy Newman and Kathleen Kelso, and I'm really looking forward to that. That's May 21st, 3 to 5 Central Time, once again. You'll have to do your own math. I have been known to get this so confused that nobody can find the show. And let's see, you can find me online at janseides.com, just like it says in my little corner notation there. It's SEIDES.com. And usually there is a listing. There's not right at the moment because I apparently failed to get around to it, of every place I'm going to be there under shows. If you want to know more about the Any Sunday Songwriters show, for example, if you're not in Austin but you're enjoying tuning in, you can be on the mailing list, and I promise no spam. It'll be just me, and it doesn't go to anybody else except people on the mailing list. I have no songs about Lord of the Rings. I'm sorry to say. I should, probably. So I'm going to do one about things in Texas. I used to drive to Houston all the time, and the road that goes there is about a block and a half from my house. It's 290, and 290 does this thing where it starts out going southeast from Austin, and then you turn at one point, a 90-degree turn, and somehow you are still going southeast, which I've looked at the map several times and I still haven't figured it out. But right after you make that turn, there used to be this place where somebody had collected a bunch of old gas station signs, the Pegasus from Mobil Oil and the Torch from Standard Oil, and they were all standing on this one piece of property, and in the middle was a white building, and it had a sign too. It was called the Jezebel Cafe. And I kept thinking I should stop and see what that was all about. And then one day I drove to Houston and I looked for it, and it was gone. So now there's another Jezebel something or other that looks like a biker bar, and it's very close to the highway, not set back like this was. But I realized after it was gone and I'd never had a chance to go inside it, that actually in Texas I had been inside it several times, because all those little dance halls, they all look the same. So I wrote this song about it, never having been in it. At the Jezebel Cafe and Dance Hall, Blondie presides at the bar, and the regulars line up before the doors open at 7. There's a raised wooden stage in one corner, and the band drifts in around 9. And they drink up their brews and finally go on at 11. And what they lack in skill, they make up in enthusiasm. And the ladies imagine they're the belles of the ball. On the arm of Prince Charming at the Jezebel Cafe and Dance Hall. At the Jezebel Cafe and Dance Hall, tall tales and stories abound, like how someone pulled a catfish from the Brazos as big as a cow, really a cow. And all their granddads built the first church in the county, and all of them go every Sunday, except for the ones that grin and swear they are in church right now. And what they lack in truth, they make up in enthusiasm. And the ladies imagine they're heroes about 7 feet tall. No, wait, make that 8 feet at the Jezebel Cafe and Dance Hall. It's not far from civilization, but it's not too close either. Between Brenham and College Station, about a mile from the river. And they know that developers coming, and they'll have to move over sometime soon, but they say they'll hang on till the Jezzy is gone. At the Jezebel Cafe and Dance Hall, when the lights come up on the decor, it's all planking and 2x4s but the patrons don't care, 'cause it's good old days that they come for, a fragment of fast fading time. So tomorrow at 7, again they'll all line up right here. And what they lack in variety, they make up in enthusiasm. So they'll keep on attending till they hear that last call. They'll be dancing and singing and smoking and drinking, playing pool and talking and joking and laughing at the Jezebel Cafe, the Jezebel Cafe and Dance Hall. Thank you. So now you've had a little dose of Texas. And it's not all cowboys and ridges and deserts. Stuart? Or no,
Yeah.
Joel.
Joel's up.
Yes.
So let's see, let me adjust a few things. Let me introduce you to this guitar. This is, well, actually, Stuart has a really lovely little Martin there. Is that an SP triple aught?
No, it is a jumbo, a JC16.
It's a JC16. Is it a JC? It doesn't start with SC because that snowflake inlay on the bridge and everything.
It is an I'm sorry, it's an SPJC16RE.
SP, yeah, it is the SP. It sounds great as I'm listening to it, and that's just a lovely guitar I've been on the hunt for. I think they only made them around 1998 to maybe 2002 or something like that. And you were lucky enough to find one, and it was lucky enough to find you because you play all that wonderful stuff on it.
Thank you. It was Robin Greenstein that hooked me up with it, actually.
So this is a little older, strange shaped Martin. Yours is a jumbo, so it's a little deeper. This is an MC, which is a little wider. It's made out of maple, and it's had two owners. Early on, who was it? It was Andy. Andy and Jan and Soundcheck were talking about the Waiting for Columbus poster in the back. And last summer, the 45th anniversary of that album, I was lucky enough to tour a bit with Little Feat. And the only other owner this guitar has had in its lifetime was part of that tour. This was Jorma Kekkonen's guitar for the first 15 years or so of its lifetime. So it's the guitar he played with Hot Tuna at the end of the 1980s and into the mid 90s. And then the neck started to get a little wonky, and they took it to Martin, and Martin fixed it, but it didn't really last. And Jorma gave up on it, and I took it over. And Cat Fox, the genius luthier up in New Hampshire, figured out how to put it back together.
What exactly did he do, other than just glue the neck a whole lot better?
Well, if you want to get really technical, because it has this oval sound hole, this was a guitar that was designed by David Bromberg. In the 60s, he had Matty Umanoff in New York take the tops off of Martin arch tops, like the F7, and put a flat top on it and get this big body and fabulous old Brazilian rosewood. And so he designed this for Martin, and Martin used their standard dreadnought neck block. And they needed to use the archtop neck block, which is wider. So the whole neck on some of these, right along the lines of the spruce, starts swimming towards the center of the sound hole. And Cat figured out how to anchor it and get it to stay put. So Yorma and I he didn't know that I had finally rescued this. And we were talking about it like we had the same ex-wife. So we both had these 15-year stretches, and we were both very complimentary of the guitar and of each other. And I said, well, you played the heck out of her and got all that good sound out of her. You loosened her up. And he said, yeah, but you found her when she was broken, and you helped her get back on her feet again. And little moment of guitar brotherhood. This song is about an 8-year adventure with my dad. My dad, in his early 60s, had a major stroke just as I was starting to run out and play music, and life kind of turned around. And the stroke brought out all kinds of things from his PTSD in World War II. He landed in Sicily, he landed in southern France, and went all the way up France to the Battle of the Bulge. And he was kind of a mess. And they found him, swear to God, I got a call from the sheriff when I was on the road that I had to come home. They found him standing on a corner, honest truth, in Winslow, Arizona, on his way to see Howard Hughes. And maybe I'll write a song to finish off and tell you what that story was about. But this is what kind of came in my head as I was driving all the way back to LA to meet him at the bus station and figure out where we were going to put him, that he was going to be safe. They called me Sunday evening, saying, what you gonna do? They called me Sunday evening, saying, what you gonna do? Your old man's running crazy, and it all comes down to you. So I packed up my suitcase, hurried off in my van. I packed up my suitcase, I hurried off in my van. When I got there, they had locked up my old man. He soars like an eagle and he tumbles to the ground. Soars like an eagle and he tumbles to the ground. His friends have all gone running, they don't want to see him come around. It's a sad situation, and I just don't understand. It's a sad situation. situation I just don't understand. How a child who's so unready must play father to the man. Thank you.
Your voice reminds me a bit of David Bromberg in that song.
I was kind of aiming for Sun House, but thank you.
Cool. I'm a fan of Yorma's too. That's really cool to think that you're playing his guitar and that you're chummy with him. I'm like, okay. Now I want to meet you in person.
I guess we'll meet in Kansas. What was the name of that place in Kansas, Jan?
It's called Coffeeville, but I was going to suggest Austin as an alternative.
Okay, well then
I'm in the middle.
Then no, Jezebel's is a much finer place. Absolutely.
That's right. Bring your bike.
And bring your gun too. They're big on them there.
Don't do that. We got enough of those.
I'm being sarcastic. I feel the same way you do. In fact, I might do a song that I wrote later to follow up on yours called Thoughts and Prayers. But, by the way, if anybody knows how to adjust the audio input levels on an Android, please let me know, because I spent the last 2 songs searching and just can't find anything for it. So I'm sitting as close as I can and get me all in. Anyways, I don't see anybody saying anything. JT knows. Is that Justin Timberlake or James Taylor or Jethro Tull? Ah, there we go. Tip jar. Anyways, this is a song. Since you did that great blues one, I'm gonna do one that I wrote, and this is kind of political. And if anybody wants to do it, you have my blessings to do it. It's called "When the Devil Comes to Get You." When the devil comes to get you, it won't be a horror show. He'll be a boss and come across as someone you want to know. He'll seduce you and affect you when you're taken in. He'll make a sin a virtue and make virtue out of sin. He'll swear that he's a prophet, a servant of the Lord, and swear he speaks the gospel as you hang on every word. When the devil comes to claim you, you look into his eyes and find yourself indulging things you know you should despise, like avarice and hatred and cruelty and greed, turning away strangers and rejecting those in need. He'll swear that he's a prophet, a servant of the Lord. Blindly follow till you reap your ultimate reward. Devil comes to get you, he won't be dressed in red. No trident fork, no pointy tail, no horns upon his head. He'll bring a curse upon you think that you've been blessed. As he summons up the basest thoughts you tried to keep repressed, he'll claim he's persecuted when justice comes to call. And just like that, he'll turn on you and let you take the fall. When to your very thinking you've ceded him control, you may not recognize it, but the devil has your soul. Thank you.
That's a wonderful song, Stuart.
Thank you, Jan.
Yeah. So I also have a David Bromberg story, but it's from the other end of the country, because I used to live in New York City, and I used to work at the Gaslight Coffee House in the Village. And David came in. He was playing with somebody. We had a lot of ultimately famous and just have been famous and were famous right now people that came in to play at the Gaslight because it was one of the premier venues. Although it was under any other circumstances, it would have been considered kind of a hole in the wall, but it had the patina of tradition by the time I was there. And yeah, and David came in and he was explaining to us that when the place first opened, that the big round table in the front, that was for the people who worked there. Because we didn't know that, and we were sitting, VIPs and whatnot at the table. And from that moment on, it became our table. And we would brook no argument. But the other thing that he told me was much more important to me, because it turned out Sam Hood had dug that place out of the ground. The basement was filled with dirt under that building, and he would cart loads of dirt off in wheelbarrows in the middle of the night in order to turn it into something that people could use. And after he'd done that for a long enough time, he put in a floor and a stage and a bunch of tables, and it became the Gaslight Coffee House. And you walked downstairs to it, of course. The problem was it was never intended to be what he made out of it. And there was an air shaft that used to be for the dumbwaiter, but there were no dumbwaiters anymore. And so every time it rained, the walls would seep and the place would flood. And we had Big Mama Thornton there at one point, and she did wade in the water, coming down the aisle, wading in the water to get to the stage, which was, she was a hoot. She was not at all excited about our venue. But what David told me was that the Gaslight didn't have a cabaret license, and it still hadn't while I was working there. It never did get one. So there were people living above us, and every time they heard applause, which carried apparently better than the music did or the poetry did, every time they heard applause, they would call the cops, and the place would be shut for the rest of the evening. So that's where this originated, because they couldn't hear that. Isn't that a lovely thing to know? Yeah. So I'm going to change the subject again, because we got plenty of devil examples here in Texas. And I don't want to go into it because I just get depressed. So I'm going to do a love song. Oh, my goodness. Hold on. I must have leaned forward at some point. Oh, this is interesting. I guess I'm going to do a guitar song while I figure out how my keyboard got changed to something else. Nope. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's sort of like what I want. No. This is bizarre. I have no idea what the correct number was, and I don't think the program button works anymore on this. I have this elderly Kurzweil that I bought 100 million years ago. Let's see if that'll do it. No. I'll just play my guitar. And back to Texas we go. This story just came to a resolution, and I'm very happy about it, because when I first wrote this, it was from a prompt, and the prompt was, go to your local paper, find a headline, and write a song about it. Well, we get the local paper twice a week, once for the Sunday Funnies and once for the coupons, and both for the crossword puzzle, which Andy really likes to do. And so I went online to find a story, and I found a video of this gentleman talking, and it turns out Austin has become very overcrowded. And I have a friend who is in real estate, and she said at one point that we had 125 single-family homes available, and the demand is something like 1,000 a week. So we were in trouble, and of course the developers are looking everywhere for new places to build. And this man had been on his property he was the fourth generation, maybe third, but I think fourth. And they were trying to buy his land, and he was refusing to sell. Well, lots of legal stuff happened, but in the end, he won, and he won so big that they actually named the street that goes to his property after him. So he is immortalized now, which makes me really happy. But here's the story. My daddy really loved this land. I'd feel I was betraying him if I was the one to let it go. He used to say if you had pliers and a roll of baling wire, why, you could fix most anything that broke. Family history's big for me. Great-great-granddad born in slavery. When he was freed, he came to Texas. Bought this land with saved up gold, and his descendants each have owned it. I don't propose to be the one to lose it, so it's not for sale. The land is not for sale. The city needs more houses. Yes, I understand, but Papa Collins' land is not for sale. I'm leaving it to my granddaughter. I want to do that for her, 'cause she lost her dad when she was only 5. I like to think that he is watching and happy with these things I'm doing, like he'd do if he was alive. And it's not for sale. The land is not for sale. The city needs more houses, so I understand, but Papa Collins' land is not for sale. She could be anything she wants to be, write her own future. She will keep the land and story going for those who come after. And it's not for sale. The land is not for sale. The city needs more houses, that I understand, but Papa Collins' land is not for sale. The city needs more houses. Yes, I understand, but Papa Collins' land is not for sale. My Daddy really loved this land. I'd feel I was betraying him if I was the one to let it go. Thank you.
That's a lovely song.
Thank you. I'm so glad he won. So, oh, and by the way, since I probably mentioned it hours ago, if you'd like to know more about these shows and who's going to be on, please leave your name and your email in the chat. There's a whole nother world going on over there in the chat, including the tip jar, which I'm sure everybody knows how to use. And all of us have places, I'm not sure Joel does, but all of us have places online where you can listen to these songs again and perhaps buy something. I know I have recordings on my website, and I also have jewelry made from my guitar strings that's kind of interesting, made by Life and Art, Kathy Miller. And suddenly I can't remember the name of her company, but they're there, and there is information about them on there. So, Joel.
Hi.
Hi.
You have such a wonderful, diverse portfolio of songs. And I'd go to your yard sale just to buy the books that you read to learn how to write like that. That's just, books you read just that caused your writing to have so much crafted use of language without any artifice to it. You have quite a sense of humor inside of your wry observations. I'm enjoying this very much.
Thank you, Joel. What a wonderful thing to say. I'm going to hold that to my heart.
Aww. So this song, the more I sing it, the more truer it becomes, which is a really sad thing. But I think it needs to be sung. You can buy all the guards and gates, socialize over silver plates, but you can't shake the hand of fate. It will all fall down. You won't break bread with your brother, don't take care of your mother. You've got no hope, you've got no shame. When you need a helping hand, you will find you're grasping sand, and you'll know you've jumped an empty claim. You can buy all the guards and gates, socialize over silver plates, but you can't shake the hand of fate. It will all fall down. Talking heads in ghostly glow, spinning lies, it's all for show. Beware the fox and fear the bear. If you think you're on high ground, lift your eyes, look around. The signs of our demise are everywhere. You can buy all the guards and gates and socialize over silver plates. But you can't shake the hand of fate, it will all fall down. Sins of old remain the same, hell on earth in heaven's name. This was not the plan of the Prince of Peace. If the rapture truly comes and trumpets ring, angels hum, then all your gold won't buy you sweet release. Buy all the guards and gates and socialize over silver plates, but you can't shake the hand of fate, it will all fall down. I-oh, oh, oh, oh. I-oh, oh, 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 oh. You.
That's quite
Okay,
a
so
song.
The most frustrating thing about this, other than the technology issues, is that I have to follow him each time. I'm gonna do one that is one of my older ones, and this one coming back to Long Island here, although it was your song about Texas that made me think of it. Long Island is in parts a bit overpopulated, and the traffic gets very heavy, as you know if you've ever been here. And one day I was driving along the Southern State Parkway, which I live right off of, and I looked around and I didn't recognize the scenery, and I thought I'd missed my exit, and I was very close to home. But a little while later, as we crept forward, I saw a highway sign and realized I hadn't missed my exit. I just was so used to just staring at the lanes and the cars ahead of me that I'd never really taken time to get to know the scenery. And I said, there's a lesson in that. So this is called The View from the Side of the Road. We all good? You all set? Okay. Traffic, commuter enslavement, it's almost not worth it to visit
That was wonderful. We have a similar issue going on here, but it's not because we don't look. It's because every time we pass it, it's different. There's just so much building going on here that, I came over an overpass the other day where you can clearly see downtown Austin. When I first arrived here, downtown was kind of cute, because I was coming from New York City. In fact, I knew what a city looked like, so I figured, when I passed Waco and it turned out to be sizable and impressive from the highway, I thought, well, Austin's going to be, what. Well, I passed it by 45 miles because it was so not that. But now it's this wall of buildings with, cranes overall where more are going up. I miss the old Austin. I guess this is a good thing for the economy. Maybe not so much for the long-time residents. Anyway, the song, I finally did find my piano on here. The song I'm going to do is the one I meant to do earlier, but it also has to do with time because I spent the whole pandemic writing. And I went to every song challenge and every song circle I could find because that was the main reason this show started, is I knew if I wasn't playing, I wasn't going to be writing either. So, and that's unacceptable. So this was from a prompt, and the prompt was, if you could go back in time and change something, would you? And so this was my answer to that. I thought I found my... It's not the sound I'm used to, but I'll go with it. If I had it to do over, mulligan for all of those mistakes, maybe I would take it slower and think about the reasons I should wait for the other shoe. But then I wouldn't be with you. If I had it to do over, a second chance to turn and walk away from all those careless promises and all the times my trust was betrayed 'cause I didn't have a clue. But then I wouldn't be with you. You are the reason I still believe a guardian angel watches over me. So if I had it to do over, an opportunity that few receive, I might be lying here tonight, dreaming dreams that probably would never come true, so I wouldn't follow through, because then I wouldn't be with you. Thank you.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Thanks. While I was singing it, this enormous gecko walked across my window. He's still there. That was actually written for Andy, whom you cannot see, but we know he's there.
I think it's a sign, and you should submit the song to Geico in order to see if you can get a commercial out of it.
Wouldn't that be nice? By the way, we are about to embark on our final round. So I thought you would want to know that.
So there is time for a final round?
Yes. Oh, yes. I would
Okay.
not do it without it.
Which do you want? Do you want another love song to follow that one in a faster tempo, or do you want a little serenade from an instrument we haven't heard from, just to kind of head things towards the close? Which
Yeah,
would you
that.
that? Okay. Hold on a moment.
Deb has voted. By the way, welcome to Janet and to Philippa, who is on the Facebook. I'm so
Yeah,
glad you
when Joel says an instrument we haven't heard yet, then we definitely want to know what that is.
Yeah.
Well, your clues are coming fast. This is why you always have to keep one of everything in each room in your house,
Truth.
because you never know when you're going to need a clarinet, and you never know when you're going to need a yo-yo. It's just the way things should be. So this was my first instrument, and this instrument has taken me a lot of places. I don't know that anybody is Los Angeles linked enough and old enough to pair up with me, but when you were in the second, third, and fourth grade, the only show you really cared about during the day was Sheriff John's Lunch Brigade. And if you lived real close to elementary school, you could run home for lunch and run back in time for your first afternoon class and get to watch Sheriff John. Sheriff John was there was a whole country swing movement that came out to California that followed the Okies and the Arkies out. And there was great swing music out there to rival Bob Wills. Spade Cooley would probably have some of Bob Wills' fame today if he hadn't been such a bad boy. And Cal Worthington sold used cars, but he'd been a country star before that. And a lot of those guys ended up playing out at the Palomino and places like that. So those of us that were trying to learn this, between the Palomino and driving up to Bakersfield, you didn't have, I think you got better country music than you did going back to Nashville, which has gone commercial by then.
I had no idea that about Cal Worthington.
Yeah, I that just was mind blowing because I remember the car commercials. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So on Sheriff John's Lunch Brigade, every day they would sing the birthday cake polka. And if your parents sent your name in on your birthday, at that point, parents wanted the whole world to know what your birth date was. It was a far safer world than we travel through today. And there was a solo in the middle of the birthday cake polka, and that was clarinet. So that's why I chose it after I did my obligatory year of piano. And I said, I haven't met a woman named Jan yet, but I'll never get two hands doing different things the way she can do it. So I better play clarinet. And so this thing has taken me all around the world, basically.
Oh my God. Thank you, Joel. That was wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you so much for hosting this.
Oh, thank you so much for saying yes to it. So, Stuart, what's your parting thought?
All right. This is one I wrote more years ago than I care to admit now. But I wrote it at NERFA because whenever I go to NERFA, that's Northeast Regional Folk Alliance, I either come back writing a song or with a crush on somebody, or writing a song about somebody that I have a crush on, and that's how this song was born. And it sort of sums up such a lovely. This 2 hours went by really fast, and I kind of wish the moment could last a little longer. So this is a song called "Linger On." Please forgive me if I stare. It's impolite and I apologize, but the ringlets in your hair proved a bit too tempting for my eyes. And as I sit behind you, I just had to take that chance. Knew I never could be satisfied with just one glance. And now you have caught me, and before this awkward moment's gone, I hope you'll somehow tell me, linger on. I smile, one of my most twisted, tongue-tied grins. That's not usually my style. As the conversation just begins, and I may start to stammer as I cast for words to say, between the oh, hello, and have a truly awesome day. I'm caught in the headlights, and before this awkward moment's gone, I hope you'll somehow tell me, linger on. Please forgive me if I dream of how your body might feel next to me as the sunrise starts to stream through the cottage curtains by the sea. It's only been one evening and this restaurant's first rate. And in a moment I may ask you for a second date. But on this flight of fancy, on this warm imaginary dawn, I hope you'll somehow tell me, linger on. Linger on. Thank you.
Bravo. I did want to say that I really appreciate both of you, and I'm ecstatic that you said yes when I asked you to come play. One of you said yes for the second time, which is like a real testament.
I think that
So
was
appreciative.
a long time.
Before
By
I,
the way, I just need to apologize. Whenever I switch over to the chat, it turns my picture sideways. That's what's been going on. So
I
that's
thought maybe you were leaning over to read it.
yeah, that might be a better idea. Oh,
Well,
good Jan.
now that we understand, read the chat as much as you like. You are already forgiven for all the acrobatics. I'm going to do one more, but before I do, I think that Joel Tepp needs another round of applause, and I'm going to start it off. All of you people there on Facebook, Joel Tepp has graced you with some incredible music. And also, Stuart, who is currently reading the chat, I suppose. I think he needs another round of applause, too. So, Stuart Marcus. And this show is truly coast to coast. And here I am in the middle, on the third coast, as we like to think of it. This song was based on the Japanese art of kintsugi, where if something breaks, you put it back together again with gold-fused resin. And that's what started it. But then there was the Leonard Cohen song about there's a crack in everything, that's how the light gets in. But this song is about also that's how the light gets out. Every lesson you learn is gold. Every scar where you heal is strong. You may once or twice have been broken, but you've done nothing wrong. All the outcomes that didn't match, all those plans and all those dreams, all that beauty you think you lack is ablaze for all to see. 'Cause your light shines through, your light shines through. It's what makes you you. And the cracks are there, so your light shines. Your light shines. All the obstacles in your path, all the trials you rose above, all those faults that you think you have, they are why you are loved. 'Cause your light shines through, your light shines through. It's what makes you you. And the cracks are there, so your light shines. Your light shines. It's true. You are not perfect, but no one is perfect. And that matters so much less than you expect. 'Cause your light shines through. Your light shines through. It's what makes you you. And the cracks are there, so your light shines. Your light shines. Your light shines through. Your light shines through. It's what makes you you. And your cracks are there, 'cause your light shines. Your light shines through. Thank you. Thank you to everybody who came and listened. Thank you once again to Joel Tepp and Stuart Marcus. Look them up and see what they're whole story is and all their music. And we are going to bow out. I'm going to stop the recording first. That is, I think I am. Yes, I apparently was successful. And goodbye to all our friends on Facebook and on YouTube. And can every